wringing it out just feels so incredible, right?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I'll let this one play. There we go. Let that go. Okay. Whew, so the toga. So toga and toga twist. And again, this is just getting in and playing around. So there's a whole version that we do of Xfactor. Let's start with that so you can see like the evolution that happened for me. So Xfactor like this, I call it the crisscross, where we come in. See if I got it right. Xfactor. Yeah, and then my head goes here. So we do the Xfactor with the leg loops crisscross like that. And we can do what I call level, where I push my feet into the table and I do these really cool kind of like S harmonic motion, play out to the side, just working with dynamic twists. And then I can come in and do the inversion like we learned before, like this. Right? So, this is not new per se, but it is cool to do it on the table, especially
yeah, hanging over like that.
Working with the edge and getting into some big spins and twists and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So love that.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So we do the whole Xfactor sequence. That's epic.
Cool.
But then I was coming in and I was like, okay, well, what if we did like a half Xfactor? We haven't done this before. It was just playing around with a client. So I could do just one side. So I call it a toga,
Mm-hmm.
for that reason. And it's just like, oh, so incredible to get into the neck and shoulder combination and dig in either towards the neck or actually pull away.
Yeah.
And traction towards the shoulder.
Mm.
And I love like the big twists here. But then I found that if I do a diagonal, so I'm just going to hook around the blue, I can hook around the yellow and blue, but this gives me a little bit more range. Then I really get the space. You can even come in and pull this hand, just kind of gently lean back. Yeah, even more. Yeah, there you go. Oh. And that gets like the whole thing open in such a delicious way. And I can float and kind of do more. I use my leg and kind of traction against. So there's lots of different assists that can be done in these poses. And then of course I can change sides, twist around, hook the other way. Doing the expedited version again, so you're not just like hanging out. So then we transition behind the back. So after all of that intensity, I like to just reset. Just give it a chance to breathe. It's so amazing to feel the difference. Like this side's like, so then just the left side on top, and then of course I can position it. I like to get this one down on the diagonal a little bit more, kind of like below the point of the shoulder blade. Start level, just playing with the free flow, dynamic twists, getting into the edges and pulsing. And then I like to hook the opposite leg, so it's diagonal leg. And then I can really kind of spin out to the side, create some rotations. Oh, I forgot to do this on the other side. But then the toga twist is like this.
Yeah.
And that really gets deep into here, but then that opens up the whole leg path. It's just crazy. Oh yeah, the arm, thank you.
Twist.
Yeah, you get to just hang out on the couch. Yeah, with the twist it's really nice. I can grab the foot and extend. Yeah, and that's opening up the whole nerve path. That's awesome. So good. Perfect. Yeah. And then, of course, the legs can switch. Kind of go around. I love playing with the edges, not only the front, but the sides. Just again. Oh my God. It's like
that one's
really
more intense? Or?
Right here.
Yeah.
So now it's digging into the whole vagus nerve area and stimulating that. Yeah, you'll just have to try it. When I like to pull away because I want to create all this space between the neck and the shoulder, and then the lengthening through the arm. But moving towards and digging in is also amazing. Because then, of course, when you let go, it's incredible. And then just coming back, hanging out here. Letting it all fluff back up.
Nice.
Yeah, so this deep pressure point, digging in, tractioning the fascia, and then creating the spirals and the harmonic motion within that. That whole combination has just been so epic for bringing out the tension.
Yeah.
So give it a go.
Okay.
See what you think. So you can start with all the material behind the back. Yeah. Right. And I like to start out with chillaxing arms and just leaning back. So we actually bring it up higher. I know we keep it below the shoulder blades when we do the swing in the air, but we actually let all this support, even higher, right there. That is like a little bit of a platter for the heart then. Really good. And then from there, when you feel ready, you can experiment with any combination, but I typically like using the yellow, which is the leg loop. So the leg loops are just in a straddle. Yeah, so just one. So just one over the shoulder. Just one side.
We're skipping the.
Yeah, you've done Xfactor.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to see, from Xfactor, we start doing the toga.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it down a little bit lower on the other side. Yeah, a little bit more on a diagonal feels better to me. And then just push your feet into the table with the knees bent and lift and lean back. You can use chillaxing arms or arms to the sides or overhead, whatever feels good. Just play around with that. Yeah. Spirals, spins, free flow, pushing and pulling in the space. Yeah. You can really put a lot of pressure, a lot of tension.
Boy,
that's something, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to reposition.
Yeah. Redo.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
more down to the base.
Yes, exactly. That's why the diagonal really helps, right? Yeah, and then we hook outside in. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's intense. Okay.
It is intense.
That's good.
And we thought Xfactor was intense, remember? When that one started, it was like, oh my god, this is so next level. So of course, turning towards it is going to be way more intense than turning away. Yeah. So when you turn away, I'm going to actually help you out here and do that same stretch again. So I like just doing the hook. That allows me to actually come in here and, there you go. Amazing. Yeah, right into dancer. Beautiful. Nice and easy coming back around. And then just try the other leg just for fun, okay. Oh yeah, the toga twist. So that's through center here. See if you can get the leg through center. Yeah, same idea. And then lift the hip. That's it. That's it. I like coming in and doing a little assist there, so I can push the sacrum and pull the arm. Amazing. Flexing the hands back. Ooh. Well, yeah, you're not going to go far, which is great too. So if it just comes undone. Yeah. And if
boy.
Right?
Yeah, that's...
Oh boy is right.
Actually,
you can spread them out, or just do one.
I feel it across.
You're like, oh, I like that better, yeah. Okay. All right, I can get down with that. Try the other leg too. See what that's like. Yeah, because that'll change. Session. Yeah, you can do both legs. Good. Yeah, and it's just right where the neck can catch that edge, but we can bring the table forward and backwards to get it into a good position. But I find that the swing hanging about 1/3 from the front allows to work with the front edge.
What's the front?
So the front is here.
Okay.
So if you put the swing in the middle, it doesn't work as well as if you put it like 1/3. So if we divide the table into thirds. Yeah, gotta switch sides. Okay, so that's one hook. The other one is through center. The other center, so go back, and then through here. Yeah, straight leg. Yes, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Beautiful. There you go. Nice. Yeah, so that had a different effect, just pulling on the leg loop, on the swing instead of pushing the sacrum. That was cool. Nice. Yeah, so the idea is just to get in. There's a lot of room and space in this practice for this free flow, free form play, amoebic practice, you know? And that's how things start to kind of unfurl and get that exploration and expression in the body that it doesn't normally get, these kind of nonlinear movements. Good. Yeah, and the smooth transitions, especially for people who don't normally go upside down, of being able to go from a twist to an inversion to a back bend, you know, to the leg stretches. Yeah, there you go. And the ease of coming up and down on the table like that just by lifting, right? Yeah, good. So let's have you hang out at the knees for a second so I can show you some things. I know you're really moving fast too. I would bring people down so I can calm their nervous system. But we're doing more of the dynamic movements, so it's okay. And if we wanted to start bringing the energy down, and I can work on the floor. Sometimes I'll come up, and I like working on the table with people just to get a little bit more angle. So this is one of my favorites. It's just a gentle hooking with the feet to create that internal rotation, and then just rocking, just a gentle swing, and then get a little bit of traction at the same time. So I was doing a lot of this with Jess, like the injury she has in her hip. It's just so helpful to slow it way down.
Slow it down,
Yeah. And then of course I can do the same thing and come up and do the extension here. Just a little bit of tractioning. I love working with the ankles and heels and that lift that happens.
I love to scoop my, there we go.
Yeah, and then I usually in this position, I'll spread the swing out and let the leg loops be at the knees. So we'll have both.
What about these?
Yeah, they're at the knees.
Okay.
Good. What about them?
Yeah.
So then you have a little bit more space to play too, but yeah. So does that feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So bunched up, spread out, everything spread, one bunch, one spread, all that. I was like writing out like all the different combinations. I was like, there's like 16 different combinations for each thing. Jeez. But it really is just playing with it. It's like, oh, that feels good. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. Oh, I like that. So, and every person's different, and maybe the day is different, you know. I'm just coming in and doing just a little bit of compression. I mainly work on space, you know, and traction, but we could come in, you know, and do all the kind of acro-aerial playtime stuff too. Awesome. So let me show you one more thing here I really like to do with the push-pull in the space. Because it just gives so much range to come in and do like all this stuff where I'm working on, well, obviously creating some space, but then I can so easily, when somebody's working face down, get into like the hips and all these points and start to kind of like work with the spirals, spiral around and pull and push on the body or on the fabric. The difference between the two. Stretching out.
Such a nice supported, like stretch into a direction that they don't normally like. Go that way, but not with
this
support.
Angle.
You know?
Yeah, not with a spiral.
Yeah.
Right? The way it's creating a spiral in the body. Let me just come around and do that on the other side, because I'll like push and pull from one direction, and then I'll come around and do the same thing. And especially when somebody has an injury or asymmetry, it feels way different.
You notice the side.
We all
actually, I injured this knee moving into my most recent house.
Yeah.
Trying to do it all myself.
Oh, yeah.
It's still not resolved, like 6 months later. Not quite sure. Or it's a medial meniscus, like tear. It's just taking a long time. But I haven't gone the Western route of like,
checking it out.
Yeah, just trying to be patient and loving with it, but it's not quite.
Yeah, the lasers will help with that, just to give it some extra juice.
Yeah.
Boost the body's ability to heal. That's what I've done with the knees, and the biomat and everything else. But hanging by the back of the knee really helps stimulate those acupressure points.
Yep.
So I find that that's really helpful.
In like typical chillaxing pose.
But also on the table here,
on the
just
table.
Everything supported, and then you can kind of push the knees down and lift the hips, and get a little bit more pressure there.
Interesting, the way it pushes my two knees together.
It's painful.
No, but I'm aware of the point in my inner lower knee where it is really sensitive, but it actually feels good to have a little bit of
just
contact.
A little,
But around that area is the area of soreness, like if I feel it. But this actually feels good. Yeah. Just to have a little bit of pressure to stimulate those points behind the knees, and then a little bit of tractioning. So even here, what I would have you do is I would have you lay the other way and keep pulling your upper body back, because the swing is more 1/3, and just that little tractioning in the space here between the back of the knee and the calf, that opens up the space. I've had 5 meniscus tears on each knee, so I've become like this knee expert. Yeah, it creates a little space in there for that cushion to release, because it usually has a little bit of a buckle, something catching, and that'll give it some space so it can release. That's what's worked for me. Yeah, and then of course I've been doing all the Chin-It-Sung and belly work on the table, so with the legs up and everything soft. Yeah, like everything's soft, and also with the one leg wrap, I call it half lotus, and the leg extensions. But then while I know I got you all relaxed. I'll show you another time. But while the leg is extended in a quad stretch, working through the hip flexor and psoas, and getting like one leg would be out and one leg would be in. Let's go ahead and get this behind the hips so I can show you, because I think it's worth it for you to see. Yeah. See, that's how it's done. I always tell people, they're like, that is how it's done. That's how we do it. That's how we do. So wrap this leg outside in. I'm calling it half lotus, and then this one hangs off. Yeah. If you want, you can get your neck on, you don't even have to really slide over unless you want to. But yeah, you can get your neck on the edge there. Yeah, maybe the table moved because we've been getting so fancy. But yeah. So then here, I come into like the quad stretch. I usually just like to hook and open all this up. This was after I would imagine I did all the leg stretches already. Sure. And then in here, I can really work the psoas and get into the hip flexor. And there's just so much more accessibility. Right. It's so amazing. It's stretched and open. And open and supported. Wow, it's been really cool. Getting the belly work while in these kind of so supported, extended, but relaxed positions. Because if it's extended, it's usually tight.
right? So we're creating the length and space. There we go. See how that's all opening up now? Yeah. And it's about working the connective tissue, not just the muscles. Because I'm really not muscle oriented and more with the fluids and the spirals and the energetic directions and lubrication.
I imagine this position requires. I'm gonna scoot down just a little bit. Okay. Requires even more trust on the part of the client. You know, I mean, often working in the belly is vulnerable, but like this position, it feels supported, but it's also like you're strung up.
Well, there's ways of making it easier, which like bringing things down so they're not so far off the table, spreading things out. But yeah, I'm typically working with people who already work with me. So it's like, but a new person. But I did work with a couple new people that were like, yeah, just get in there and go for it. You see, this is a totally different stretch than when we're in the quad too, more the IT band. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, and then you can go right into the quad there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, and I would encourage you to wear more of the stretchy yoga pants next time, just because that mimics the skin, and that'll allow me to kind of do more of the.
My fancy yoga pants.
Yeah, I do. Should wear the fancy yoga pants, and that just helps me work with the skin and the connective tissue, as well as working with the energy lines and the spirals that go through the legs. These are okay, but I know I can feel. I get a little bit more when it's like this cotton spandex blend. Okay, let's do the other leg so that we don't leave you hanging. But then I do have a plank coming.
Okay,
so
let me know when.
Yeah. So they'll come on back so I can work with the transitions with you. Okay, so when I work with someone, I want to really get into the spirals. So I guide them out, and then we're going to do a straight leg all the way around. It's going to get a little glitchy right about there. We start to internally spiral. Beautiful. And then we work with a straight leg, and we start to traction. So we want to create just a little bit of space in there, right? Doesn't that feel amazing?
Yeah.
Just to get the length and soft. We're not trying to take the leg off or get the muscles to contract. Just soft. And then I do these like internal and external spirals to get the femur to start to move in the hip socket. And then that can turn into some bigger movements. Getting all the way out. Spiraling in and all the way out. Spiraling out. And then I love doing the traction with the spiral. It's just amazing. So the legs I usually spend about 15 minutes on just doing all these amazing leg stretches. Cool. And try this one where the foot comes down the other way, this direction. Bend the knee. Down like that. So that's a totally different stretch, right? So not down towards your groin, but down and out that way. It's amazing, the different positions. So the leg can be straight, the foot can come straight down towards the table, or it can come the foot can come down and back. So adjust. And a lot of times for people, they want this spread out. Like I can spread it out over the whole bum and back to get those pants.
Get a little extra fabric.
And buttons, right? There's some metal.
I know.
Cool. So let's just go ahead and hook here. First, get the quad stretch.
Oh my god! Wow, that's crazy how much I feel in my minimus medius area.
Make it a little adjustment. I'm going to suggest. Hold on 1 second. Let's spread the blue one out. A little bit more space, and then I'm going to get the yellows spread out too a little bit because they're both bunched up in the same spot. Yeah, there we go. Let's try that. And there's probably something going on there related to that knee.
Oh yeah, that's better though.
Yeah, for sure. Good. Yeah, and because there's so much support in material, there's so many variations we can do. Yeah, see that's tight in there too. It's like, I don't want to go that way. But just even this stretch, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Just working down the leg. And then I'll usually come up and release that foot so I can go this way. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so much is holding in this intersection. The two hubs, the like hip flexors, groin, lymph, energy lines coming from the legs, and then the armpits, the lymph there into the shoulders and the whole shoulder socket. So the way we can access some of this area, it's just open and exposed and extended, but supported and soft. It's incredibly healing. So.
Ooh, I like that.
Then we're just going to let this leg find its way over to the other side and just notice the difference for the IT band. And typically I like to do either dynamic tension where the hands are moving in opposite direction, just kind of pulsing or alternating, and then I also do a lot of like push-pull in the space, which really opens some things up. So this is not just body work, and it's not just yoga, and it's not even just somatics. It's the whole combination is creating a different way of what we're calling like the evolution of the mind-body connection through these various modalities being combined. So we'll be doing a lot of discussion like that. And why is this so effective and beneficial? Why is this combination just such magic for the body?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I love it, and I'm so glad that it's, there's inspiration to evolve, and I'm inspired to keep evolving, so I'm excited to keep evolving. Yeah, there's always another level, right? It's just so beautiful. Yay!